Oh, okay, so you just have like a dead sister hanging off you.
Yeah. Could you like reach over and strangle your sister?
You could definitely, yeah, you could.
But would you die?
No,
Your lungs are still breathing. Your heart's still beating.
But I think...
But no, you couldn't even stop the other heart, because at some point these blood veins are connected. Together. And like, if that heart stops beating, I imagine this heart would keep pumping blood and probably restart that heart.
Yeah. Maybe
this is the future, Matthew.
It's just like an extra person to kind of regenerate.
It's a one-up. That's what it is.
Basically. I don't know if you could survive having a dead thing attached to you.
I don't think it would die. I think you'd revive yourself by being connected to a living, pumping blood system.
So it's not just a matter of taking the head off. If you took the
if you took the head off, now you might have
a
dead. Yeah, that's right. I think you'd have a dead body on the side of you.
You don't think your half body would adopt the rest of it and just take it in, become your body? This is like if there's only two-headed people.
This is some mad science. I feel like you're living in a mad science world where you're like, well, you just kill that head. And then the one body can use both arms. I don't think that's the way the nervous system would just absorb it.
Isn't it?
The nervous system doesn't just shift that way.
Well, when you're twins in a womb,
and
you're not getting enough food, one of the twins kills the other twins, gets everything. It's a little simpler, but I don't think the body.
Okay, you understand? Like twins in a womb are not like grabbing the umbilical cord and choking the other one.
I don't know. We don't have the technology.
We do.
We do, actually. But we need, Sebastian, we need to ask, the TLC didn't answer these questions. Mm-hmm. They touched on these questions. They didn't answer any questions. They didn't ask these twins the tough questions.
No, you're saying the tough questions. You really just mean like the gross questions.
It's the stuff I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm thinking of are these gross questions. The ones that boggle the mind. The only thing about it was that I was laughing uncontrollably in the middle of the night. And when I tried to explain why, I knew I was going to come off crazy because in short little breaths as I was laughing, I would just say, small town. Strawberries. The slugs were so big. And then I just kept laughing and I couldn't even get, and nobody wants to hear laughter at 3 a.m.
That is a weird way to wake up, to a man laughing about a small town and big slugs.
And the worst was when you try to be silent. I'm still laughing on the inside, but every now and then just a little gasp of air escapes. It's just been laughter the whole time. I see
your girlfriend's trying to get back to sleep, going like, "Oh my god, what is this?" And you're still like,
but I was kind of exactly. But I was kind of crying in my head because I knew I'm doing irreparable damage to just the way I'm being viewed. Because there's no way that I can get out of this without seeming like a lunatic.
So on and so forth. So yeah, I'm not that surprised that we drink milk. So we managed to pasteurize it. We're smart as hell.
Do a lot of other smart things, not just milk.
Yeah, I don't see no cows driving race cars.
There are pajama walkers out there.
But now, why are they walking around in their pajamas? Is it because they're too lazy? They don't want to get presentable for the neighbors? They don't feel like me, like they have to take a shower before they leave home? Or is it more like they're a Mama Berenstein Bears type?
I think it's like a... Probably more the old Mama Berenstein Bears, they're just...
Yeah.
They're comfortable in their own skin.
But like everyone else in the Berenstein Bears family, everyone else in the Berenstein Bears family, Papa wears a hat, he wears overalls, he's got a shirt, the boy has clothes, the daughter has clothes for school.
They go to school, yeah.
Mama... She's wearing her nightie all the time. And a nightcap.
Smoking cigarettes and drinking screwdrivers.
You're watching The Price is Right. Kid's home sick. It's just, hey, Mama's... Get Mama her happy juice, huh, will you?
I remember one Berenstein Bears plot where they had to stop watching TV and the dad really didn't like it. He's like, well, how will I know what's on the news? She hands him a newspaper. And he's like, how am I going to know what the weather is? So stupid. I'm sorry. How am I going to know what the weather is? And she sticks her hand out the window like, Just feel if it's raining.
Just feel if it's raining.
First of all, there's totally a weather section in the newspaper.
Yeah.
Secondly, that's the dumbest thing.
Well, I mean, just look out the window.
Look out the window.
Look out the window.
You don't have to stick your arm out there.
Yeah, that's
you have
true.
eyes. Unless bears have bad vision.
But maybe just having a drawn bear look out a window wouldn't be obvious enough. It really needs to spell it out for the children. Yeah,
I feel like that's what Mama Bear does a lot of the time. Just stare longingly out the window. But
cigarettes and a screwdriver.
But maybe you have to read between the lines. The Berenstain Bears and the No TV was really Mama Bear's way of saying, Mama needs the house to herself for a while. Get out there, go do something.
Got my screen therapy, guys. Just get out.
Most of the stuff.
Go play. Mama Bear is tired now.
Well, a lot of the stories were brother and sister bear centric. Some of them were Papa Bear centric. Mama Bear never really had her own storylines.
They had one where Mama gets a job, but it was way too progressive. Like, no, too progressive. This is way, way, way too progressive.
Oh.
Scratch that. She goes to the grocery store, gets a flat tire. Papa Bear comes
helps. Yeah. Either that or like some stranger bear helps and Papa Bear kills him.
Never talk about that.
Why are you even leaving the house?
It's called The Lesson of the Alibi.
Why would you leave the house dressed like that? What's going on?
He comes back. He wakes the kids up. He's like, if anyone asks, we were in our beds all night. That's where we were between 8 and 9. Because they went to bed early. They're bears. If anyone asks where we were here all night.
I want to go with Steve Urkel.
Okay. Oh.
You see my dilemma.
I see. It took me a second to see where Matthew's mind was going here. Well, just be a white Steve Urkel.
A white Steve Urkel is just a nerd.
Well, I don't know. If you've got the suspenders, if you've got the stripy red and blue shirt, if you've got the voice,
then it just seems like I've only done 50% of the work.
No, that's most of the work.
The real costume is, head to toe.
I think unless you have a rubber mask, you're just not doing that costume, Matthew.
That's not. I saw a movie called White Chicks. I believe it was the Wayans brothers.
I feel like it's not the first time you bring this movie up as if like maybe you saw this documentary and you're going to tell me something about it.
It was better than the documentary. This is just it's a perfect example, Sebastian. And I think if the Wayans brothers can dress up as white women for a film, I should be able to dress up as Steve Urkel for one night.
I think what you need to have to do is not do this Steve Urkel costume the way you want to do it. I think either you do it as a white person or you get a rubber mask. That's it, Matthew.
This from the person who went as a Mexican 3 years in a row.
Well, I mean, it was kind of put on me. It's not like I was like, oh boy, Halloween, here it comes again. Can't wait to dress as a Mexican.
We have to go through. We have to make sure you don't have any candy that's going to harm you, kill you, which scared me because I thought everybody out there, by the rate of which they were taking candy out of the good pile and putting it into the poison pile, I'm thinking, man, like I live on the street with these people. I see these people every day. Most of my
neighbors are killers, yeah.
They're trying to kill me. There's razors in here. And I'm like, Daddy, is there... They take away candy I would really want. I remember at one point looking at this gummy candy, and I was like, I really hope that one doesn't have poison in it because I really want that one. That one looks so good. And then my dad would look at it and be like, no, poison in here. And then he would put it away. And he'd take it.
He's just holding it up to the light and going, yep, that one's poison.
I don't know. As I figured I would learn how to do it one day from my parents. They would show me how to test candy out.
So I think what the lesson is here, you do know now how to test candy. It's whatever damn candy you want to eat, and you don't care if your kid eats it. And so the ones you don't care about, your kid gets. The ones you want to eat, like this cool jelly, you put aside and call poison.
Yeah. Oh, and it was because I didn't know that. I thought they were throwing them all out but actually no, I knew they weren't because they would take a big pile, divide it up. Like they probably got 30% of my candy, It's a candy tax.
That's a hell of a tax.
Yeah, they took it, they put it into a bowl, and right away, even as a child, I'm like, why don't you just throw this in the garbage? It's poison. Bring it to the police instead. Maybe do that. Get
Smart
some of
kid.
my neighbors put in jail.
Yeah.
Trying to kill us all. No, they would just put it in a bowl, and they'd put it on top of the fridge or in a cupboard where I couldn't reach. And they'd say, I'll go throw it out later. And I remember at one point I went up there a few weeks later, and I looked in the bowl, and it was almost gone. They'd been eating my candy the whole time.
Your poison candy.
I went out. I worked on this candy. I got it. And my prized jelly candy, the one I really wanted. It's probably like an oversized fuzzy peach or something at the time. But they just I don't know what was going through their minds, but I found out, and to this day I haven't forgotten. They could have just said, "Hey, can we have some of your Halloween candy?" I would have probably shared it. They didn't have to make me fear for my life, make me think there's needles and razors.
That's a good point. The only logic I can really put into it is that they lived on a street where they needed to get candy for the neighbor kids. So they were going to get back the money they spent on candy from you.
Yeah. Well, it backfired because the next year I was like, all my neighbors are giving me candy with needles and razors. I started putting in some little safety pins, little bits of razors, little sharp things. I started stuffing those into the candies that we were giving out to the kids.
What were you putting? What kind of candies were you putting them in?
Mars bars.
Oh man.
Jelly candies. I'd stick a nice sewing needle into that, and you can stick that in.
Oh yeah.
And you can't even tell
Very
if the
subtly.
package has been damaged. Halloween.
Scary time for all.
Yeah, died down a little after that, but. That's what my neighbors deserved for trying to kill us all.
Yeah. This is how I like to phrase it. I puppet mastered K2 into...
That's how you like to phrase it, and that's you trying to sound like you didn't do anything wrong.
I didn't do anything wrong.
Okay.
I just puppet mastered.
There you go.
I puppet mastered K2, who was probably also... we were all a little inebriated, so maybe not in our right minds. And maybe K2 was... a little more susceptible to being puppet mastered, to use an iron that was lying out and about, just heat it up a little bit so it was hot to the touch, and then tap him on the belly to wake him up.
Okay. So, first of all, this happened in the 1950s. You still iron your shirts in this day and age?
You don't iron your shirts?
I don't. I throw it in the dryer with a damp cloth.
Oh, yeah. That's actually what I do most of the time because I'm lazy, but ironing is so much better.
I just burn things.
Yeah, I had an office job, and I would iron. I'd spend an evening a week ironing shirts because I'm not good at it, so it takes some time.
Yeah. Okay. So you had that iron ready. It was just needed to be plugged in and warmed up.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so it warmed up a bit, and I think, honestly... I don't think it was touching K1's belly for more than a whole second. I doubt it was even that long. And it still didn't wake him up. And we didn't want to go further, but he was still asleep. Yeah. And we kind of went, all right, forget it. He's passing out here. That's it. And then we woke up the next morning to him screaming about the burn pain on his stomach. And the iron had left a mark. Okay. And when people blame me, I think that is not right.
All right.
I mean, sure, I plugged in the iron. Sure, I convinced the person who did it to do it. Maybe it was my idea. But, I don't think inception is a crime.
No. I mean, God gave man free will.
Yeah.
And Sebastian, all you're doing is playing the role of Satan.
That's right. A little devil into the shoulder.
Telling them what their options are and letting them choose what they will. Now, the reason maybe people think you more of a villain is I heard this story slightly differently. And maybe I'm just remembering it differently. But I remember, in my memory of it, it is K2 did not want to do this. And you were like, no, it's fine. I'm just going to plug the iron in and we'll talk about it. And he's like, don't plug the iron in. I don't want to do it. It's a bad idea. It's going to hurt him. And it's like, well, I might have to iron a shirt later. Who knows? I'm going to plug it in, and we're just going to talk here. Have another drink, K2. Let's go. He's like, I'm not going to do it. And it's like, no one says you're going to do it. You know what? I don't think you even have the guts. So anyway, you're goading him into it. You're getting him ready. Eventually, he just wants you to stop forcing him into it. So he takes it and he lightly taps him with it. Just gets him a little bit. And you're like, well, that's not going to do anything. Here. And then you took his hand and you pressed the iron into him.
I